Alright, what's going on, you guys? It's Royce Jacob. Welcome back to the channel, and in this video I want to give you guys my current take on Workhorse stock, or ticker symbol WKHS. Now, I'm sure you guys are familiar with the stock at this point, especially considering you clicked on this video, but if not, this stock has been absolutely ripping lately. We'll take a quick look at it on Robinhood, considering it was one of today's top movers, which I will explain why I think that's an important factor in its recent price action. But it's also just a very digestible chart, and it can show how actually crazy this movement is on an easy to look at chart. Alright, so up over 46% on the day, 6% after hours, up over 50% on the day. Crazy price action, especially considering what it's done over the past weeks and months. So on the week, up 130%. If you got in a week ago, you would have over doubled your money at this point. On the month, we're looking at over 487% crazy growth. It kicked off this month at like $2.70. It is now over $15. So you would have over 5 extra money just in the past month alone. 3 months, it gets even crazier. As you go down the line, it just gets more and more. Actually, at 3 months to a year, it gets less wild. Still crazy price action. I mean, 3 months, 700%. You would over 10 extra money, considering it started at like 3 months ago, is at $1.60. So if you happen to get in 3 months ago, if you were that early to this trend, congratulations. I personally don't have any positions on Workhorse right now, which I do want to establish in the beginning. But I do believe that will allow me to do a very objective and unbiased opinion on this stock right now. But that said, again, this is the definition of a parabolic stock. Parabolic means when something goes straight up, and I mean this is going up and to the right at a 90-degree angle. So this is crazy. All right, we'll close Robinhood out now. Again, I just wanted to give you guys a nice digestible chart. Don't quit QuickTime. Don't want to end the video. I did that last time too. All right, we'll quit that out. We will take a look at the chart on the back, get a little more technical with it. I'm not going to get super technical because this thing is so wild right now and so bubbly. The volume on this thing is so insane that I don't want to get too crazy technical. I will give a very brief technical overview of what I'm thinking of this chart right now. But I do want to kick it off with the fundamentals, you guys. If you have tuned into the channel before, you would know that I definitely prioritize fundamentals over technicals, which at this time, especially with a stock like this that's so realistically not fundamentally driven. This is obviously hype driven at this point. The fundamentals really don't play a huge factor, but in my mind, out of principle, I have to cover the fundamentals first. And I want you guys, if you do want to invest in the stock, especially for the long term, you have to establish an idea of the fundamentals and if their financials are decent and whatnot. So over the course of this video, we will take a look at a single article. I don't want to get too crazy with the fundamentals, you guys. I'll try to keep this as brief as possible and just touch on the main points. So we will touch on this article quick. We will look at their sites themselves because when I evaluate a company, especially for the long term or for these videos especially, I always think it's good to look at the company's website, their actual website, and see how well they manufacture a website, because that's important. It shows care, attention to detail, okay, and kind of their opinion on what they do. Okay, so we'll take a quick look at their website, and then, like I said, we will take a look at their financials, because this is if you are investing for value, this is obviously the most important factor. So we will take a look at the financials quick. I will keep this part very brief because this can get a little overwhelming to look at. But again, I will do my best to keep this brief and just kind of give you guys what I feel are the most important single features of the financials. All right. So we'll kick it off with this article. Before we do that, I will ask you guys to please give the video a like if you do gain any value from it, or if you got into Workhorse early. If you were early on Workhorse, give this video a like, and subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. I truly do appreciate it. Okay, so kick it off with this article. Again, this just some I won't go super deep in this article. I will just read the key highlights just to kind of establish a baseline, and then I'll rant further on from there. All right, so this tiny electric vehicle manufacturer has surged 521% in June. Crazy. As hype builds around Tesla competitor Nikola Motors. Okay, so that makes perfect sense. That is objectively what did. As soon as Nikola Motors started rallying and the hype around Nikola, especially IPOing, started to go crazy and Nikola went crazy, that is when Workhorse started to develop this very bullish trend, okay? So I'll read these key highlights again. Workhorse has surged as much as 521% month to date, even more at this point, to be honest, because we just looked at the charts. As investor hype around electric vehicle startups like Nikola Motors continues to build, Workhorse is a small cap electric vehicle manufacturer that owned a 10% stake in its spinoff, Lordstown Motors, which is developing an electric pickup truck poised to compete with Tesla Cybertruck and Nikola Motors Badger, among others. Workhorse is focused on developing electric delivery vans that would be utilized by shipping companies like UPS and FedEx. Workhorse surged as much as 56% on Monday after the company announced it would also be added to the Russell 3000 index. All right, so that's just a brief idea of what Workhorse is. To expand on this points, we will look at their site. This is the company tab. I'll just show you guys the homepage real quick. So this company does specialize in like autonomous electric vehicles, delivery vans like you saw before, a truck. But we will go to the company tab, and I do, again, you want to know what this company does in its own words. All right, so working how you always have can only get you so far. Okay, so that's the way they space that text is kind of weird. I don't judge my investment on that, but just to say, Workhorse is changing the way the world works. Work ahead. Okay, so work ahead, Workhorse. I get it. Go down to technology. We will just look at I'm not going to read this entire thing real quick, but again, delivery vans, electric autonomous delivery vans. Makes perfect sense, especially in this this new COVID impacted world and this corona economy. Delivery drones, kind of, again, expanding on the same autonomous electric delivery vehicles. Delivery drones, very futuristic, very obviously progressive and forward thinking. That's great. And then telematics. A lot of people don't know this about, I mean, a lot of people do. A lot of people who are Tesla heads and are very interested in the space will know this, obviously. But like the telematics, the integrated system that has information on 4 million miles of tracking on more than 350 vehicles. So this is the reason in my mind that Tesla is such a valuable company, all right? It's their AI. It's the net of intelligence that they're creating on the roads around their vehicles, okay? They have so much data. They have so much user data and so much vehicle data, which is, I mean, data is one of the most valuable commodities on this planet at this point. Okay, so that is very important. That is crucial. The data that you receive with these autonomous electric vehicles is very important. Okay, so this company is very cool. Again, this company has been on my radar for the past few months, or not past few months, definitely past few weeks, past couple months now, ever since, again, the hype on Nikola kind of sparked up. I do think it's a cool company. I think this is a great company. I love Revolutionary Industries. You know that if you watch the channel. But again, their financials, but as we're about to look at, their financials are less than impressive, and that is what's driven me away. But again, if you happen to get into this market is factually irrational. From the most rational opinion I can establish on this current market environment is that it's irrational. So that's my take. But again, the financials look a little rough. I don't want to discourage you guys with this. I don't want to drop FUD, but I'm just trying to be realistic and objective with this, okay? So we will look at some of Workhorse's financials here. Again, I do want to keep this short. There's a lot of numbers here. It can get overwhelming, but the main thing, the single main thing, if I was to boil it down to one metric here, it would be the EBITDA, which is earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. All right, so it's kind of a complex acronym, but to sum that up, it's just their earnings after all the overhead and crazy stuff, or not crazy stuff, but literally everything it says there. I do recommend you guys actually look that up and kind of study what it is, because that is a very important metric in my mind, at least. Okay, and we are looking at a 5-quarter trend here, so this dates back just over a year. And what's not good, and what we should establish off the bat, is that this company is not profitable at all yet. Actually, the exact opposite. Okay, so this company is by no means profitable yet. We will look at their yearly charts, or their year-over-year charts over here from 2015 to now. But again, this company is still not profitable. EBITDA is trending even lower and lower, which does worry me. Even if their net income growth is going up, some of their metrics do go up, but their EBITDA is going down, which means that they're actually not earning as much as it may seem like, even though their revenue may be climbing. All right, so we will look at this. I think this is an important trend. So we'll look here. Again, that was just the past 5 quarters, so that's just touching on like the past year or so. This dates back 5 years, okay? So 2015 to now, 5-year trends. This is weird, okay? So their sales revenue was 140K in 2015, and then it shot all the way up. So you see crazy growth in 2016. That is a crazy spike in growth. You see another significant growth trend in 2017 in terms of sales revenue at 10.4 million. But then in 2018, it pretty much fell off a cliff, which I don't know what happened here, you guys. You also have to understand that I'm not a complete, like, I've been nerded out over this company. I am just giving you guys my my honest opinion based on the metrics that we're looking at right now and what little research I have done. I just want to be honest about that. So forgive me if you are far more informed on kind of the details of the company as a whole. If, like, you know, leadership can change. A lot of things can change within a company that I'm personally not aware of. So please let me know if there are some things I'm missing here that are important factors, please. So 10.4 million fell off cliff down to 760,000, which is crazy. And then in 2019, it pretty much halved from there to 376,000. So that's a terrible trend. I mean, you can't look at that and justify that that is a good looking trend by any means. So their sales and revenue are far down, which is not good. But again, this market is based on hype. This market is based on future potential. Do you think this company could be worth something in 10, 15, 50 years, whatever your time range is, time horizon is? And I don't necessarily agree with that myself. You guys, I do think I kind of bridge the gap between, like, this market is so crazy right now. We are seeing a paradigm shift, in the markets right now, to where value investing and taking current financials into consideration isn't really all that important, which I personally think is dangerous. Again, that's why I say I bridge the gap. I am adapting. I do trade a lot of these hot stocks and these bubbly stocks, I will call them, because this is factually a bubble right now. When you see parabolic movement like that, when you see a right angle, 90 degrees straight up, that is not a healthy chart by any means. That is a hype-driven chart, and that is a bubble. Trust me, if you tune in the channel, you know we talk about bubbles a lot. I played many bubbles in my life, and I like to think I know a bubble when I see one, and this is very obviously a bubble. But I'm not saying that it couldn't go higher from here, okay? I'm not saying that they could succeed in the long run. Again, this is a very cool company. I like what they're doing. I like the direction. I like their forward thinking. But the financials absolutely do not currently line up with the current price. All right, so I will say that. We'll take a look at the charts here. I do want to cover, again, you see Workhorse up over 50% today, actually, taking after hours price action into consideration. NIO up 5%, Tesla up 5%, Nikola up 6%. That's what I've said in previous videos. If you saw my like Tesla, Nikola stock talks and stuff, I do talk about how sectors not always, but a lot of times will move in unison, although they are direct competitors. Same applies in cannabis. Same applies in the COVID-related biotechs we've been talking about lately. So sectors a lot of times move in unison. A lot of times sparked by a significant spike in price action, like Workhorse. So Workhorse up 50%, just kind of guilty by association. A lot of these other EV players and EV stocks went up a little bit, pretty significantly. Like 5% on Tesla is a huge jump for how big of a company Tesla is. But again, the same thing can apply the other way as well. So say if we saw an absolute Tesla release some bad news, they crashed 10%. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see all these players in the red. So just keep that in mind, you guys. Just kind of, again, it doesn't always happen that way, but a lot of the time it does. These sectors, and again, it's not just the EV sector, it's all sectors. They will move in some sort of unison. Okay, so Workhorse, let's actually look at this. So they just crossed $1 billion market cap. Again, a few days ago when I was looking at them, like, and you know how much, we just looked at how much they've jumped, and you can just see these charts. So they were just at like a 500 million, like $300 million market cap not long at all ago. Okay, but $1 billion is still a very small market cap in the grand scheme of things. Like, for reference, Workhorse has way more vehicles on the road right now than Nikola, because Nikola literally has zero vehicles on the road, and they're at a $24 billion valuation. Okay, so technically, just to make it easy, I mean, Workhorse could 10x to $150 per share, and they would still be half the size of Nikola in terms of market cap. Okay, so that is important to think about. $1 billion market cap is still extremely small. I do think that this company could definitely see more growth, especially in this current landscape. Like I was talking about, you guys, like I did mention in the beginning as one of the top movers on Robinhood, and good or bad, however you want to interpret this, it is dangerous in my opinion. I'm not going to say it's good or bad, but it does make for very rough waters and rough trading when there's so many new Robinhood traders, day traders, new day traders, Robinhood investors, whatnot, seeing the top movers being like, oh shit, this thing is ripping, I want to get in on it, and then they buy. That creates for a very unhealthy price action like we're seeing here. But again, you have to adapt. That's the game. You have to adapt or else you lose. Okay, and that's why a lot of the big hedge fund titans, whatnot, like OG investors, are losing right now, because they're not catching on to that trend. And again, I do my best to bridge the gap between actually taking the financials fundamentals into account and being rational, but also understanding that the landscape is factually different right now, and just the money involved in the markets right now is a lot different. So I do think this thing can rip. I did draw these very general trend lines on it. Okay, so top line of resistance, bottom line of support. This bottom line of support is actually very solid in my mind, because it was dancing on this for a solid couple days, like right on it. And then it does line up pretty well with this upper band of resistance. Okay, so it is following this channel. If Workhorse, personally, for me, if Workhorse did come back down and bounced off this at like the 1220 region tomorrow or in the coming days, then I might think about establishing a position. Just again, like the market cap at $1 billion, and Nikola is at $24 billion with literally nothing but a promise. Just being real. Like, again, Nikola, they do have potential. They have sick concepts. Their cars are sick. And obviously they're trending in the right direction with the EVs and stuff. But, I mean, a $24 billion valuation for Nikola is objectively outrageous. But again, times are different. So doing my best to adapt. And if Workhorse does come back down to like the $12-ish region, give or take, I will think about establishing a long position. It might be small just because, again, this is a scary stock. This is a scary market. If you guys have been watching my videos lately, you would know that I am bearish on general equity markets just because I think they're extremely overinflated. And you can say don't fight the Fed, whatever, but I think that the economic reality has to catch up with the markets at some point. Okay, so that does worry me because, I mean, when the general markets fall, almost every equity will fall, like what we saw in March during the liquidity crisis. So that kind of worries me. That does make me hesitant hopping in, especially at these crazy levels that they're at right now after seeing this like 5x in a day. But if I do want to trade this, I might try to pick up a small position around $12. We'll see. But I mean, yeah, we'll kind of call it there, guys. I will keep you guys posted on Workhorse if we do see more exciting price action. So again, subscribe, stay tuned if you want to catch more videos on Workhorse. I do make videos on Nikola and Tesla every now and then. The EV sector is very interesting to me. This is kind of the epitome as far as sectors are concerned of really betting on the future and betting ahead. And again, I'm very bullish on EVs, and again, all the AI and data that these guys are accumulating, that is very valuable down the road. And again, although the current financials don't align, I am bullish on these companies in the very long term, and that's cool that that's how a lot of these newer investors and traders are thinking. So I don't want to discourage anyone who wants to get in this. Just know that it might be a bumpy ride. This thing will, I cannot personally see this thing going straight up. I think it will bounce around in this channel. But also, if you've tuned into the channel before, you know that I do subscribe to what I call the two-wave theory. And I do think personally that Workhorse could see another significant move up tomorrow, especially considering they kicked off Monday so strong. It is very rare you see a single move this significant without another following at least like 10 to 20%. Okay, so if I was a betting man, again, you guys realize this, understand this is just my opinion. This could absolutely play the exact opposite of what I'm saying right now, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see another 10-20% tomorrow on Wednesday. You know, maybe we kick off at like 10% or something up and then end the day down, and then Thursday, Friday, and down or something. But again, this is a wild stock. It's all just betting at this point. The technicals aren't showing me much because I am a swing trader. I'm not trying to day trade this, guys. I'm a swing trader myself, so you should know that if you are new around here. But again, volume's great. Bullish momentum behind this is great. Hype is great. It's in a great sector, obviously proven to be hot right now. So yeah, I think we'll just close it out there, guys. If you do happen to want to know if I ever do decide to pick up some calls or puts on Workhorse, you can check out my complete portfolio down below and daily newsletter. It is exactly as it states. It's a complete breakdown of my entire portfolio, all call options, all put options, all stock positions, even cryptos if you're interested in that. And along with that, I do send out an email newsletter every trading day during market hours, discussing the trades I made that day, why I made the trades I'm making, rationalizing some of my decisions, and just letting you guys know what I'm thinking about the overall markets as a whole on at the time of market open. Okay, so check that out if you're interested. If not, no worries at all. Again, drop any comments if I did miss anything. I love learning from you guys. And again, I'm not like a veteran on the stock at all. I'm not super educated on the stock. So if I did miss anything that you believe is significant, please let us know down below. And I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate you guys for watching. I truly do. So I will catch you guys next time. Until then, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.